Imagine being the commander who turns the tide of war when all hope seems lost. Meet Bernard Law Montgomery, the brilliant British general who faced off against one of history's most feared armies and led his troops to victory in the deserts of North Africa. But Montgomery's story is not just about battles and strategies. It's about leadership, courage, and a fierce determination to never back down. Ready to dive into the life of the man who became a legend on the battlefield? Stick around, because this is one story you won't want to miss. Early life. Born in 1887 in Kennington, Surrey, Bernard Law Montgomery grew up in a family steeped in both military and religious traditions. He was the fourth of 9 children born to Henry Montgomery, a Church of Ireland minister, and his wife, Maud Farrer. The Montgomerys were part of the ascendancy gentry, with roots tracing back to County Donegal, Ireland. Bernard's grandfather, Sir Robert Montgomery, was a notable figure, serving as a colonial administrator in British India. Tragically, Sir Robert passed away just a month after Bernard's birth. When Henry Montgomery inherited the family estate in New Park, Donegal, the financial burden was immense. The estate came with a hefty mortgage, forcing the family to sell off portions of their land just to stay afloat. Relief came in 1889 when Henry was appointed Bishop of Tasmania, and the family moved to the distant British colony. However, life in Tasmania was far from easy for young Bernard. His father was often away on long missions, leaving his strict mother to rule the household with an iron fist. The harsh, loveless environment led Bernard to become a difficult child, one who later admitted to being a dreadful little boy. Bernard's childhood experiences shaped his strong, sometimes abrasive personality. When the family returned to England in 1897, Bernard attended the King's School, Canterbury, followed by Staples School in London. He later enrolled at the Royal Military College, Sandhurst, where his rebellious nature nearly got him expelled. Despite this, he graduated in 1908, commissioning into the 1st Battalion of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. His military career began in India later that year, setting the stage for the remarkable legacy he would go on to build. First World War. During the First World War, Bernard Montgomery, who later became one of Britain's most famous military leaders, began his military career with the British Expeditionary Force in France. He was part of the 10th Brigade of the 4th Division, where he first saw action in the Battle of Le Cateau and the retreat from Mons in August 1914. These early experiences in the war were marked by intense combat, and Montgomery quickly earned a reputation for his leadership and bravery. One of the most dramatic moments of his early military career came on October 13, 1914, during a counter-offensive near Maturin, close to the Belgian border. During this battle, Montgomery was severely wounded by a sniper's bullet, which passed through his right lung. Lying in an exposed position, he played dead to avoid further attention from the enemy. However, a soldier who attempted to rescue him was also shot and killed. Montgomery was struck again, this time in the knee, but the fallen soldier's body shielded him from further harm. Despite being left for dead, Montgomery was eventually rescued under cover of darkness. He was so gravely injured that a grave was prepared for him, as doctors believed he wouldn't survive. Miraculously, he clung to life and was evacuated to England, where he spent more than a year recovering. For his actions during this period, Montgomery was awarded the Distinguished Service Order for conspicuous gallantry, particularly noted for his leadership in turning the enemy out of their trenches with a bayonet. World War II. As World War II erupted, Bernard Montgomery quickly established himself as a pivotal military figure. Appointed to command the 8th Army in North Africa in August 1942, Montgomery faced a critical moment. The British 8th Army, battered by previous defeats, was in dire need of revitalization. Montgomery, known for his meticulous planning and leadership, spearheaded a dramatic turnaround. Montgomery's leadership was most notably demonstrated at the Second Battle of El Alamein in October 1942. Facing the formidable German-Italian forces led by General Rommel, Montgomery orchestrated a decisive victory that marked a turning point in the North African campaign. His strategic prowess and unyielding resolve not only halted Rommel's advance, but also laid the groundwork for the eventual Allied victory in North Africa. Montgomery's victory at El Alamein was hailed as a masterpiece of military strategy and a crucial morale booster for the Allies. Following his success in North Africa, Montgomery was appointed as the commander of the British Eighth Army in the Italian campaign. He led the Eighth Army through a series of successful operations, including the invasion of Sicily in July 1943 and the subsequent Italian mainland campaign. His leadership was instrumental in the successful capture of key positions and the eventual surrender of Italian forces. Montgomery's post-war reputation was solidified by his role in the Allied victory in Europe. His strategic insights and leadership were widely recognized, and he was celebrated as one of the war's most influential military leaders. His ability to inspire and lead his troops through some of the most challenging moments of the war earned him a place among the great military commanders of World War II. Post-war career. After World War II, Bernard Montgomery continued to play a significant role in military and international affairs. As the commander-in-chief of the British Army of the Rhine, he oversaw the British occupation forces in post-war Germany and served as the British member of the Allied Control Council, which was responsible for governing occupied Germany. In 1946, Montgomery succeeded Field Marshal Alan Brooke as chief of the Imperial General Staff. His tenure as CIGS was marked by significant initiatives and controversial opinions. In 1947, Montgomery toured Africa, and in a confidential 1948 report to Prime Minister Clement Attlee, proposed a master plan to consolidate British African territories and exploit the continent's resources. His plan aimed to counteract the loss of British influence in Asia and strengthen white rule as a bulwark against communism. Montgomery's views on African capabilities, including his derogatory statements describing Africans as complete savages, were published in 1999, causing significant controversy. His biographer, Lord Chalfont, later commented that Montgomery's reputation was irredeemably damaged by these revelations. During his time as CIGS, Montgomery faced internal challenges, including strained relationships with other service chiefs and frequent clashes with Chief of the Air Staff Sir Arthur Tedder. His tenure was marked by considerable friction and a lack of coordination with his peers, leading him to send his deputy, Kenneth Crawford, to attend many meetings on his behalf. When Montgomery's term as CIGS ended in 1948, Prime Minister Attlee appointed Sir William Slim, a retired field marshal, as his successor. Montgomery was reportedly displeased, having expected General Sir John Crocker, his protege, to be appointed. Attlee's response to Montgomery's protest was reportedly, "Untell him." Montgomery's post-war career continued as he became chairman of the Western Union Defense Organization's CNC Committee. His time with the organization was characterized by significant disagreements with French General John de Lattre de Tassigny, which contributed to tensions within the Union headquarters. In 1951, Montgomery was appointed deputy commander of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's Supreme Headquarters, Allied Powers Europe. He served under General Dwight D. Eisenhower and his successors, Generals Matthew Ridgway and Alfred Grunther, until his retirement in 1958. Montgomery's long and distinguished career solidified his place as one of the most influential military leaders of his time. Bernard Montgomery passed away in 1976 at his residence, Icington Mill, located in Icington, Hampshire. He was 88 years old at the time of his death. Following a funeral service held at St. George's Chapel in Windsor, Montgomery was laid to rest in the churchyard of Holy Cross in Binsted, Hampshire. His passing marked the end of a notable military career that spanned both world wars and had a lasting impact on modern military strategy and international relations. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.